We are committed to helping our young offenders to get back on the right side of the law and to remain there.
We'll also take a closer look at technologies being applied in the agriculture and health sectors. I'm Adrian Atkinson, and you're watching Jamaica Magazine.
Each time you're not paying full attention to the road environment, the greater your chances of getting in a crash like that. Plan routes to avoid focusing on GPS systems, prevent children from roaming in motor vehicles, turn down the volume of car stereo systems, pull off the roadway if you have to use mobile devices, do not read, watch television or eat while driving, avoid multitasking, and keep conversations with other passengers to a minimum. Whether you walk, ride or drive, avoid potentially fatal distractions.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, June 29. The House of Representatives last night passed the Special Crime Zones Bill, which makes provision for the designation of a location as a crime spot, among other security measures. After 18 amendments, both government and opposition members of Parliament voted for the legislation.
The murder situation that we face, Mr. Speaker, is not normal, but we are becoming very much insensitive to it. The debate today from the Parliament sends a signal to the country that the leaders of the country do not consider this as normal.
Opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips stressed the need for transparency in the identification of the special crime zones.
I believe if we can find the way to ensure that the decision and the selection of the geographic areas to be subject to this declaration is clearly within the remit of the high command of the security forces, it would enhance public trust.
We can't just go into any area and declare it a zone. There has to be a crime problem there. And in operational terms, you would not have the resources to just willy-nilly declare area zones.
The Prime Minister assured the House that the bill would not replicate the state of emergency procedure, but stressed that it would broaden the scope of national security.
The police, the military, and MOCA will have their operational duties. They do their operations, they plan it. The job of the government is to create the framework, the legal framework in which they can operate, hold them accountable afterwards.
The law reform, Zones of Special Operations, Special Security and Community Development Measures Act 2017, often referred to as the Special Crime Zones Bill, was piloted in Parliament by Justice Minister Delroy Chuck. Parliament also passed legislation yesterday to allow the government to take $46 billion in budgetary support from the National Housing Trust, NHT, over 4 years. Finance Minister Audley Shaw says the other options for financing the budget could be burdensome on the public. He adds that if revenue buoyancy continues, the drawdowns from the National Housing Trust will become unnecessary.
It has in fact started fairly well in the first quarter of the fiscal year. My preliminary figures in the first quarter of the fiscal year, Mr. Speaker, is showing that to Monday of this week, our revenue was $5 billion ahead for the quarter. $5 billion. And I want to give the Honourable House and the country the assurance that to the extent that the revenue is ahead, if we don't have to draw down the funds from the National Housing Trust, we will not draw the funds.
In other finance news, on Wednesday, Jamaica and the World Bank signed off on a $70 million loan agreement.
This loan is to assist the government's efforts to achieve higher levels of economic growth through the continued implementation
of various initiatives targeted at improving the investment climate, improving competitiveness, fiscal consolidation, and public financial management in Jamaica.
The agreement represents the second policy loan received by the current administration and was approved by the bank earlier in June. It's part of a broader program of financing totaling above $500 million for the period 2014 to 2019.
The policy reforms under the second Competitiveness and Fiscal Management Program will help to fast-track Jamaica's growth and development targets, provide additional employment, reduce poverty levels and inequality, encourage better fiscal management, strengthen the business climate, and streamline Jamaica's energy resources.
World Bank representative Galina Satirova reaffirmed the bank's commitment to supporting with Jamaica's Sustained Development Reform Program.
Jamaica economic performance is expected to continue improving with the government staying the course on the reform program and continuing that commitment.
Minister of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries Carl Samuda has signed a contract with the University of Technology and the European Union to further enhance the sugar transformation program. President of the university, Professor Stephen Bassiani, says the institution's involvement in the program is to train and assist residents in sugar-dependent areas to establish at least 80 business ventures.
There is no doubt that the outcomes will have lasting, transforming impact on the lives of all persons involved. Given the decline in sugar production and economic conditions in sugar-dependent communities, it is good that this project has been conceived to help citizens who have contributed to the building of Jamaica's sugar industry.
Minister Samuda says that through improvements in productivity and training, sugar has the potential to be more competitive, adding that a market for the byproducts of sugar is also available.
The Jamaican market offers a better price than the European. And CARICOM offers the necessary volumes that can sustain a well-run sugar industry. Perhaps not at the level that we have experienced in the past, but certainly at a level that can contribute significantly to earning foreign exchange and the creation of employment.
And finally, hundreds of well-wishers turned out yesterday to the Thanksgiving service for the life of late President of the Jamaica Football Federation, Captain Horace Burrell. The Thanksgiving service was held at the National Arena in Kingston. Among those in attendance were Governor General Sir Patrick Allen and Lady Allen, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who read a Bible lesson, and Sport Minister Olivia Grange.
He was the kind of man who saw both the challenge and the opportunity and decided to take on both. Jamaica, the Caribbean, and the world have lost a man who truly had the knack of converting the impossible dream into reality.
He was interned in a private ceremony at Upper Camp. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
That's the old way of doing things. Introducing Government of Jamaica Electronic Procurement, a speedy, transparent and accessible online method used to bid for government contracts. Contact the Ministry of Finance and Planning for more information.
We are men with a message. And the youth them need to hear this.
We know everything about thug life.
Been there, done that.
Prison and a nice place, stay in school.
Serious thing we I tell you.
And a joke thing this.
You can't tell me about hungry.
That's no excuse. Leave the badness alone. Nobody narrate you.
Them just afraid of you. Live positive, remember.
A gang is a dead end.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
The We Transform is being implemented under the theme Save a Child, Change a Nation, and targets some 242 children between the ages of 12 to 17 who are on remand or serving sentence within the 4 juvenile centers in the country. This program is one of the out-of-the-box strategies which we know will contribute to the reduction in youth offending and reoffending, and by extension, crime in Jamaica. The truth is, in our society, as in any other society, we do have young people who, from time to time, do have run-ins with the law. But offenders confined in correctional institutions are confronted by a range of challenges that tend to become obstacles in a crime-free lifestyle. Some of these challenges are results of past experiences, and others are more directly associated with the consequences of incarceration and the difficult transition back into the community. Several of these young offenders also have a history of social marginalization, physical and emotional abuse, and involvement in criminal lifestyle and gangs that have begun at an early age. Many are challenged by skill deficits that make it difficult for them to compete and to succeed in the community, poor interpersonal skills, and low level of formal education. And when you throw all of that with the prejudices of society, or you need to go to prison, I not employ you. Because that is the reality of today's world. My ministry believes that each and every one of these young persons deserve a second chance in life. And we are committed to helping our young offenders to get back on the right side of the law and to remain there. This program falls squarely within the ministry's 5-pillar crime strategy, which speaks to reducing reoffending as the 5th critical pillar and aims at improving community reintegration for the offenders. If we're honest with ourselves, we will realize that even from an enlightened self-interest perspective, since most of our inmates will be released within 3 years, it certainly makes no sense to dehumanize these young people for that period of time before releasing them back to society. We have to show that those in conflict with the law, that there are alternatives to a life of criminality. So the We Transform program is being implemented in 2 phases. Phase 1 will start immediately and will include youth engagement in innovative training in the academics, vocational education, employability and life skills, a mentorship and internship and job placement program, and an annual competition and exposition where the youth can showcase and publicize their talents, and a segment of healthy lifestyle where young offenders will be engaged in life skills training in substance abuse, reproductive health, and other health-related matters. Under phase 2, we will be engaging in parent engagement and training because we have too many parents that do not have the skills to be parents. So the parenting workshops will include staff, capacity building, training, and recognition. I am pleased to see that directly after the launch, there will be a competition and exposition on July 20 and mentorship days for boys and girls in November to include a football tournament for the boys and a pageant for the girls. It is becoming increasingly clear that successful interventions are those which begin while the offender is confined in a correctional institution and continue throughout his or her transition into the community, as well as those that offer assistance in an integrated and comprehensive manner and address the many interrelated challenges faced by offenders. If we do not intervene in the lives of our young people, there is no future for Jamaica. And this government will treat with and deal with these problems, not in a knee-jerk manner, but in a studied, deliberate, and targeted manner.
Nobody want to plant the corn. Everybody want to read the band. Who you are go blame it on when it's a next man you are deep in pan. Well, you're wrong.
Farmers, let us be serious about predial larceny. It is affecting all of us. If you are aware of incidents of predial larceny, make contact with your local police station or call Crime Stop at 311. Predial larceny is everybody's business.
No mind if me stall. Them no business if me back against the wall. This a living sometime making me ball. Seems like there ain't no love after.
Technology has played an integral role in advancing the agriculture sector, and the Ebony Park Heart Academy Piggery Division is proof. With the use of new technology, they are producing pigs of high-quality standards. Take a look.
In 2012, government implemented a supply management regime to reduce the importation of pork meat. And today, the Ministry of Agriculture is reporting steady growth in the pork industry. Pork imports reduced by more than 38% at the end of 2014, coming from imports of over 3 million kilograms in 2011. The period also showed no imports of finished ham or pig parts for the production of ham. This has helped to secure the investments of local pig farmers. And to ensure that the local demand is satisfied, the Agriculture Ministry is assisting with the production of pigs through the Piggery Division of the Ebony Park Heart Academy in Clarendon. This state-of-the-art facility produces up to 125 pigs per month. Here, the selected breed of pig is raised in an air-conditioned like temperature.
The type of animals is a cross between a Yorkshire and a Landrace. And what happens, we get a F1. So all the animals inside here, they are F1 gills. And this area is a cool area because we have a cool cell system. It operates like the AC system with the fans that assist it to move cool air through the pen, and it cools down the animal because pigs normally operate best at temperatures of 55 degrees Celsius.
The breeding process is done through artificial insemination, and this is done twice daily. A number is then given to the animal to represent the time at which it was bred. And within approximately 4 months, piglets are born.
This genetics, it is favored by most persons because you get a large litter size and the growth rate is very high. So you have litter size up to 17, and within 6 months times you have pigs growing up to 100 pounds and probably over.
Special care is given to these little ones. Within 24 hours after birth, they are processed. Their needle-like teeth are clipped to prevent them from hurting each other and their mother during feeding. The tails are also clipped for safety reasons because you know they can easily pull on it or bite it during play. One aim of the facility is to produce infection and disease-free pigs. The males are also castrated to prevent breeding through natural contact. This piggery facility has 3 areas. First is the gestation or breeding area. 2 weeks before the gilts give birth, they are transferred to this section.
They spend normally 1 month around here, and when we wean the piglets, they go to the nursery area, and the sows go back to the gestation area to be bred again, and they normally come on to eat 5 to 7 days after they have been weaned or the piglets have been removed from them.
The last of the 3 areas is the nursery, and it does not have any cool cell system. The reason for this is to get the piglets adjusted to regular temperature in preparation for their transfer to other farms.
So when farmers buy them, they won't have any difficulty with them, or the animal won't be stressed, so they won't get slim or anything like that. And they normally spend 8 weeks here, and then they are shipped to other locations for fattening. Farmers buy them also for pig production.
The Ebony Park Heart Academy Piggery Division has been making a difference in the pig-pork industry, supplying farmers with improved breed stock, contributing to agriculture and the economic development of the country.
This helps to sustain the pig industry by providing farmers with a production line, so they can always come to Ebony Park and buy pigs. Oh, and the turnaround time is really quick, so they benefit from it, and the profitability is great.
Sweet Jamaica, we not left ya. Chop yam and banana, we not left ya.
Finger-licking jerk chicken, Helcher fish and bami, we run down yam and banana, roast breadfruit, sweet potato pudding. Jamaica food sweet. So let's make a pledge to use more local produce and less foreign goods. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow.
Sweet Jamaica, we not left ya.
As of June 27, 2017, 163 persons have died from road crashes, and very often there is a pressing need for blood. In our next feature, we look at how the National Blood Transfusion Service is ensuring this precious commodity is safe for use.
As long as man is around to get sick or injured, blood will remain a high-demand substance for health practitioners. But for all its wonderful properties, the life-saving bodily fluid could become a death sentence if not handled properly. For those who need their supplies boosted, health workers cannot simply hook up a needle and feed the red and white cells from another individual straight to the needy bloodstream.
It's not just a simple matter of collecting blood, finding out what the group is, and then passing it on to the recipient. There are lots of other things that go into providing safe blood.
Think of blood like a home. Certain fundamental things like walls, floors, and ceilings are common to all, but the little things you put in over the years and experiences you have within those spaces make each unique to its owner. Like your home, blood can change owners, but you have to make some adjustments to have it meet the needs of the new recipient. That is what the technicians and health workers have to do before blood that is donated can be passed on to someone in need. The first step is to screen the donor to determine their medical history and suitability to donate.
The screening is aimed at 1, protecting the donor, and 2, protecting the potential recipient.
After that, it's a matter of sterilizing the donor's arm and proceeding to draw the blood. From there, the blood is taken to the lab, where it goes through a series of tests. Technicians look for things like blood groupings such as A, B, O, and Rh types, antibodies in the red blood cells, venereal diseases such as syphilis, HIV, the virus that causes AIDS, hepatitis B and C, which affect the liver, and HTLV, human T-cell lymphotropic virus type 1 and 2, a virus that weakens the immune system. At the island's blood bank, the National Blood Transfusion Service, tests such as these are carried out daily. For each unit of blood drawn, 2 sample tubes are also collected. These are referred to as the red and purple top. For accuracy, data on the tubes must correspond with the main bag. The purple top sample is used to screen for antibodies and blood groupings. Blood grouping is just as important as the infectious screening. This ensures compatibility for the recipients, that is, people of the same blood group receiving the same blood type.
We do our ABO grouping here at the blood bank using the Diamed system. This technology is a gel system. It has microtubules, otherwise we call it as wells, and it has our anti-sero already in these wells.
A drop of the donor blood is placed into each of these wells. It is incubated and put in a machine that spins the substance at a high speed. After this process, a reading is given.
This is an example of a blood group. We can read it macroscopically. This is reading O negative based on the cells that are seen here.
In VDRL testing, which checks for syphilis, a small amount of the serum or the white part of the blood is dropped into a tube and then incubated at 56 degrees Celsius. After 30 minutes, it is taken from the incubator, placed on a slide mixed with an antigen and then rotated at 180 degrees for 4 minutes. The slide is then placed under a microscope for reading. A positive sample for syphilis would show signs of lumps or flocculation. Samples from the main lab are taken over here for the human immunodeficiency virus HIV screening, as well as the human T-cell lymphotropic virus HTLV and hepatitis B and C screenings. The different reagents or chemical compound for each of these viruses are added to the blood samples and placed in this machine. The reagent will cause a color change to the sample, indicating a positive reading.
Basically, it interprets this color change to a numerical value, which we can quantitate. Either if it's positive, it tells us the degree of positivity based on the numerical value, and if it's negative, we also get a numerical value, but we also have a cutoff value which can tell us whether it's negative or positive.
Whole blood is never administered as part of safety measures. The whole blood is separated into components: red blood cells or packed cells, plasma, or white cells.
If you had a patient who was anemic, who is in heart failure, and you gave whole blood, you're giving that person a lot of plasma unnecessarily. They really need the packed cells component. Not only is it unnecessary, but you put them at added risk of making the heart failure worse. So it is important to give just the component that is required.
And the safety procedure doesn't end there. A cross-matching process is also done to identify minor blood groups that might interfere with a successful transfusion process. But once all the tests are done to satisfaction and the separation process is completed, you can rest assured that the blood to be administered is safe.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Give yourself a fighting chance. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
That's all the time we have for you today, but another program comes your way tomorrow. Until then, just click on our website, jis.gov.jm, to stay connected. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.